Yes, a very good morning to you all. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm glad to see so many of you here today. Today, I will discuss the 3 most important points when it comes to buying gold. In my opinion, there are 3 key points. If you follow these, you will succeed. Before that, I want to explain why this is so important. It is very important because what is it about? It's about your wealth. On the one hand, you want and need to protect it because there are countless different people, programs and things that want to get at your wealth using all sorts of clever and not so clever means and methods. That's one aspect. The second is your pension. You need to think about your pension and secure it as well. The third, of course, is your family. There are also those who cannot protect themselves. You are responsible for that, and you need to make sure that you preserve your wealth. And that's why I'm going to tell you now the 3 most important points about buying gold. And I'll start right away with the first point. Do you do what many people do? Talk. And everyone has a story about gold, and everyone knows something about it, whether it's about the gold ban or not, or this and that, and no returns, and so on and so forth. Don't listen to all that nonsense. Just do it. Buy physical gold. You won't regret it. Do it because gold is simple. Gold is a commodity that has survived everything. You could also invest in other commodities. Invest in whiskey or in coffee. With whiskey, the thing is, you might end up drinking the bottles yourself. The coffee might go bad. But gold, it has outlasted everything. You could say for thousands of years. And it has always, always preserved its value. And it gives you a very simple life. So do it, buy gold. You'll have a simple life. You don't need lawyers, no tax advisors. You don't need the tax office. You're not on any lists. It's super easy. And basically also tax-free. So you don't pay any VAT when you buy it. And if you keep it for at least a year, you don't pay any capital gains tax. I don't think that's the case anywhere else. So, is there anywhere else where you don't pay capital gains tax? Okay, so Mr. Bachheimer is researching that right now. Exactly, yes. So once again, do it. That's the most important thing when it comes to buying gold, that you actually do it. People talk a lot, but you have to actually do it. When I came here, I walked past the Lebenslust event beforehand, and I have to tell you, we used to always have a big booth at that fair, and it was always actually very fun and very nice. We had a lot of older generations there, had great conversations, and of course, we talked about gold. And I asked everyone who had ever bought gold, and there wasn't a single one, not a single person, who regretted it. They then told me how much they paid for a ducat in shillings back then, or even in euros, or for example, the Babenberger. Those were fantasy prices. Gold preserves value. And the systems around it, around gold, the financial systems, they work for gold. They contribute to gold rising in value. Because in reality, gold preserves value and everything else falls into inflation. But you just see it as a rising gold price. That means even if your wife asks you today, honey, I'd like to have some jewelry again, then you can say, well, wait until next year because the money programs will continue and the gold price will be even higher again next year. And then we'll buy ourselves some beautiful jewelry then. So once again, do it. That's the first point. The second point is smallness, the right smallness. The right smallness gives you the right flexibility. That means smallness doesn't mean buying a kilo bar and gambling and seeing what's a bit cheaper right now. You can't cut anything off a kilo bar. You want small denominations. They give you great flexibility. If you store it properly, which I'll get to in the third point, you can live the way you want. You live an uncomplicated life. You can access your gold from anywhere in the world. And with the right small denominations, you don't have to worry about inflation either. Because think about it, if you exchange a gold bar, a kilo bar for a fiat currency, right now you might get 60,000 euros and at some point maybe even 100,000 euros. What do you do with the paper money? Make sure you have small denominations. These can be coins or bars. Get advice from a precious metals dealer. But having small denominations gives you flexibility. And you will have a very, very simple life because of that. You don't need to know about complicated things. Gold is super easy. It's an oasis that still exists. We live in a very, very complex world. If you own real estate, you need a lawyer, an advisor, a real estate agent, the tax office, and forms. Then you fill out the forms incorrectly, and 3 years later, you have to do it all over again. It's terribly complicated. In reality, you want to spend your time with your family, make things simple for yourself, stick with gold. The story of Zest for Life proves to me that no one has ever regretted buying gold in earlier years and later living off it, truly living off it themselves. And now I come to the third point, because the gold is supposed to be there for you. The third point is the connection to gold. Proper storage. There are people who bury their gold in the garden and then can't find it anymore. I know this from my own stories. Tragic. Then there are others who break their foot while digging it up. Then they have to go to the doctor, but the gold is still in the ground. Now he has to find the gold first in order to pay the doctor. This is not a made-up story. This is a true story. Then there are other people who have told me, quite proudly told me, that they have now hidden their gold deep in the Swiss mountains. And I say, yes, great, great, you did that. The gold in there, that will survive everything. It will last for thousands of years, but you will be gone and you won't benefit from it. Because when you need the gold, you'll first have to plan a trip just to get the gold out of the mountain. So, in other words, simply put, make sure you have the right connection to your gold. You need to be connected to your gold. And it's actually very simple by storing the gold in a high security vault. There are several different providers. Of course, we also offer a very smart high security storage system. You can access it from anywhere in the world. No matter if you're stuck somewhere in the Countertil while skiing, or you're in the Maldives, or maybe you've even been robbed in Mexico and need money, you call us, you send us an email, you have small denominations in your storage, very important. You don't need to sell a whole kilo bar, instead you have a quarter ounce or an ounce, and you receive 500 or 2,000 euros. Transferred to your credit card or via Western Union. In 5 minutes you have it with you, or you get it in your account, or you do this every month. In addition to your pension, you sell another ounce. You have saved gold your whole life, and now you have a wonderful life. And of course, the gold is primarily there for you yourself. But with the right storage comes the right storage contract. And with that, you can beautifully record everything, including how you are connected with all other people. What I mean by that is, you can set up authorizations, you can change them at any time. You don't have to inform the authorized persons. Maybe it's better if the gold doesn't get in the way of personal relationships, but you can do this without changing a key. You can contact us at any time. We will update it. You can also make arrangements for the event of your passing. But first and foremost, the gold is there for you personally. And then also for your family, your loved ones, and whoever else you wish to bless with it. So let me summarize again. The three most important things when buying gold are that you actually do it, that you do it in the right small denominations, and that you have a connection to the gold. In other words, that you have the right storage, the right high security storage. That's what I recommend to you. It's very simple. You do not have to deal with... Can you see it? Hello? You don't have to concern yourself with many other things. Gold is something very, very simple. It is actually quite straightforward. So what you have here is...
We have already spoken about the storage requirements on your part. What does that cost?
Storage, high security storage in Vienna starts at 98 euros per year, including insurance for a metal value up to 50,000 euros. That can be gold or silver. and then it is further tiered. From 50,000 to 100,000, it costs 165 euros. Then from 100,000 to 200,000 euros, it costs 260 euros. And then it's 0.12% up to 500,000 euros. And above that, if you are so lucky, up to 1 million euros. And further, 0.1% of the stored metal value includes.
Does that price also include the shipping and handling costs?
Of course. There are absolutely no additional costs, hidden charges, or extra fees unless you want to have the gold securely transported and delivered from Vienna to your villa in Mallorca. If you choose that particular option, there are standard shipping and handling fees involved. But otherwise, there are no further transaction fees except for the storage fees once a year. When it comes to selling, no, there are absolutely no additional costs involved at all, except for the fixed purchase price we agree upon. All of these rates are currently live and updated on our official website at goldvorsorge.at. Simply navigate to the sell section. Those figures listed there are our actual purchase prices, and I can guarantee there are no hidden additional fees. That is really all there is to it. No fees.
My question is, how can banks manipulate the gold and silver prices? And mainly, it comes from the Americans, but in the background, it's the banks who do it. How is that possible nowadays?
So I'll just start, and then I'll hand over to Mr. Bachheimer. So my assessment is that a large part of the gold and silver traded are actually paper products. But you probably have a much more well-founded answer.
Yes, obviously I didn't explain it sufficiently. When it comes to silver price manipulation, it happens through the COMEX and the exchanges. As I said, we trade 1 billion ounces on good days on the exchanges. We produce 900 million per year, so that doesn't add up anyway. And when one bullion bank passes it to another, JP Morgan to Goldman Sachs or whoever, and says, now we're setting the price, that's obvious. The bulk of the contracts sets the price. But as I said, among the silver miners, though not yet with gold, there are already strong voices saying this can't go on because none of this reflects reality. With gold, it's known that about $2.5 US are traded down per day. That also amounts to 500 manipulations. And this manipulation is also currently dissolving in the course of the reformation of the BRICS countries. I can talk about that later as well. Also, for example, in China, last month we had up to $120 more converted, higher gold prices than in America and Europe. And at some point, people will just sell the gold in China. And the market here, the stock market, will officially lose significance because prices are more real and honest where things are produced than where banks do their business. I'm sorry, so to speak.